Alright boys, what's going on? We got another trade recap video for today. Pretty quick for today. Ended up taking an L. Um, Gonna run through, try to took why I took it and why it was a bad trade. Yeah, let's get it. So I know it's definitely a little later today. I had some class stuff I had to work around this morning. New schedule in college, so unfortunate, but that is why I'm getting this out late. Anyways, so coming into today, into market open, I was actually coming in with a pretty bullish bias, as we were just taking out all this sell side liquidity from yesterday that I wanted to see get hit. We were getting a nice rejection off of a 4 hour for value gap on ES and kind of this volume imbalance down here on NQ. Took a nice bounce off that, and we were just absolutely ripping up, which is kind of where I went wrong a tiny little bit of today, which was we were very overextended, and we had a big push up in the overnight session, and I thought we were to continue to keep pushing, which it's reasonable to expect, not as good price action or not as efficient price action if we have such a big move like that in a previous session, aka last night. But anyways, I was still bullish. We had a ton of resting liquidity above us, external draws and internal draws, just tons of stuff. Okay. That being said, bullish bias coming into open was looking for either a 15-minute. We had an hourly gap down here that honestly probably would have been the best spot to wait for longs, the highest probability, which I had marked out. But we got another opportunity. I liked it, and I ended up taking it. So we had this 15-minute for value gap right here that we ended up respecting, and we came back down into this 15-minute and put an SMT in with ES at this point in time. And we had a 5-minute for value gap get inverse right to the upside, and I entered right in on that. Okay. So boom, literally took this trade right here. I put my stop right below the inverse and was targeting these highs up in here. Boom, boom, and then there was one more higher. We have these higher time frame ones, but was mainly just looking for this first high right here. Was where I was looking for, and we did not quite deliver to it today, unfortunately. I got pretty cooked on this, not gonna lie. Literally, as soon as we inverse this 5-minute, we just immediately flip back down and just had some terrible price action for the rest of the morning. So that's the trade I took. It's pretty bad. Definitely should have waited a little bit longer, and to see what price wanted to do. Should have waited for a deeper retrace if we were going to take long because we still had unfilled fair value gaps below us. Um, and honestly just could have done a whole lot of other things. Honestly, I think I was almost trying to rush this trade because I knew I had to get to class, and I was looking for a trade. I had like 40 minutes on market open that I could trade for today, and I was just trying to find a trade in that allocated time, which I did, and it wasn't a great one. So there was also another potential trade idea that I almost took this trade. It was the same idea, but it was a 1-minute inversion instead of the 5-minute. So it's this one right here. This is what I was originally watching because I thought we were going to literally get a nice perfect V shape, inverse it off of this candle right here, and then, send it to the moon. Which, if we would have done that, I would have entered off that 1-minute inversion. But we didn't. We were kind of chopping around for a bit. So I waited for the 5-minute because it was the highest for value gap in the leg, and that means that it'd be more probable inverse. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait for that, and I waited for it, and we still got fried. And if you would have taken this, which if I would have taken this trade right here, I would have just targeted this swing high right here. So this trade would have played out nicely. But it's all good. Part of the game, so a little bit unfortunate today, but hey, we live, we learn, and we wake up tomorrow, we do the same thing, because that's what you do. Let me put executions on here real quick. Of course, my executions want to bug out right now. Yeah, I don't know. It should be in the screenshot for the thumbnail, so you can look there. But yeah, that's the trade I took today. Those are kind of thoughts, and yeah, I will catch y'all boys another trade. All right, peace.